Good morning, guys. Hey, this is a lesson for Wednesday, April 15th. We're looking at lesson 6.4, starting on page 407, nth roots. Nth roots. I'm going to just show you the book, what you need to look at to start with nth roots. Taking the square root of something and squaring it are inverses of each other. We've talked about inverses, but they are inverses of each other. So I want you to take a look at this section here, this table here, where it shows you in the first one, x cubed equals 64. Well, that's saying what number cubed is 64? Well, 4 times 4 times 4 is 64. So 4 cubed is 64, but the inverse of that would be the cube root of 64 equals 4. So I want you to take a look at this table right here at the top of page 407, and it'll give you a good foundation for doing this lesson today. All right, bottom of the page of 407 is what we're looking at today. We're looking at nth roots, okay? Nth roots, okay? So what we have here is this is the square root of 81, okay? We can rewrite it in a rational form. 81 to the 1/2 equals 9. So the square root of 81 equals 9. So we basically could put a 2 right there on a square root, but we don't do that because that's given. Here we have the fourth root of 81, which basically means what number to the fourth power equals 81? Well, 81 to the 1/4 equals 3. If we have a 3 here, cube root of 27. What number cubed equals 27? Rewritten in rational form here, the answer would be 3. Okay. The nth root of 125. So whatever number we put in here, that's where we get the nth root, whatever number we put outside the square root or outside the root. So if we were to put a 3 down here, it would be the third root of 125. We know that if it ends in a 5, we know that your root is going to be something with a 5 in it. So the third root of 125 is 5. Okay? Now, as we look at our answers, if we have like a plus minus in front of that, our answer is going to have a plus minus. Okay? If our answer here is going to be a negative outside of that, we solve our root, but our answer would have a negative there. Okay? Let's take a look at example 1, the top of page 408. All right, so here we have plus or minus square root 16y to the 4th. Okay, so we're basically taking the square root of 16, which would be 4. We know we're going to add our plus minus at the start of it. Y to the 4th. So we're basically saying, what's the square root of y to the 4th? Well, basically, if this is 2, we know square root is 2. All we do is we take 4 divided by 2, and we're left with y squared. Okay? So whatever your nth root is, you divide this number by whatever number that is. Okay? So let's take a look at our next one. Okay? We have started off with a negative outside my root. We know we're going to take the square root of that. In this example, this 8th power applies to everything in here. So all we're going to do is take 8 divided by 2, and we know that that's going to leave us with 4 right there. Okay? So these examples are right there in the book for you to check your work. Okay, so here we have 5. 5th root of 253. So we use this root to each base. Okay, here there's only one base. Here there's 2 bases. We have 16 and my y. So that we have to apply this square root to both of those. Here we have 3. We have a number, we have A, and we have B. Fifth root of 243. Well, we know it's going to be an odd number because 3 is odd. So we know that our answer is going to be odd. Okay? And we come to find out that 3 to the 5th power is 243. From there, we divide 20 by 5. That equals 4. A to the 4th. B to the 25th, we take 25, divide it by 5. B to the 5th. Okay? Next one. Plus or minus. We know our answer is going to be plus or minus. What's my square root of 36? Well, we know that that's 6. X to the 10th. Well, again, we know that a square root has a 2 over there. So 10 divided by 2 is going to be x to the 5th. Okay? Last one. Negative y plus 7 to the 16th. We know my square root is 2 there. We would just have y plus 7 to the 8th. Okay? So that's example 1 on top of page 408. Okay? Here's example 2, page 408. 2/3 of the way down the page, there's a little sentence. This is important when you're dealing with roots. Okay? Roots. Read mid page 408. Here we have, if we have an even root and an even power, and your result is odd, we need to put our answer in absolute value form. Okay? Which means we have to make sure that my answer is non-negative, because if I have a negative number, okay, and I raise it to an odd power, that means it's going to stay negative. Okay? So let's take a look at how we apply this. 4th root of y to the 4th. Okay? We only have one base. What's 4 divided by 4? Well, it's just y to the 1st power. Okay? Now, we have an even root and we have an even power, and our result is odd. So therefore, we need to put our answer in absolute value form. Okay? Even root, even power, odd result. We have to put it in, and we don't need that 1 right there. We could put it there if we want, but we don't need it. It's going to be in absolute value form. Okay? So our answer is going to be within absolute value. Let's take a look at this. 6th root of 64. So what do we have with the 6th root of 64? Well, we know that this is an even number, so we know our answer is going to be even. So that's going to be 2, because 2 to the 6th power equals 64. X squared minus 3 to the 18. We know we say 18 divided by 6 is 3. And here we have an even root and an even power. What do we have to do to this section? We have to put absolute value. Okay, absolute value. So take a look at that. That's example 2. And here are the guided practice problems for example 2. Okay, example 2. 2a. Okay, we just have the square root. Take the square root of 36. Take the square root of y to the 6th. That means we're just going to divide 6 by 2, which would be y to the 3rd. Even root, even power, odd result, absolute value. Let's take a look here. 4th root of 16. We have 2 bases. That's one base, and this is our second base. 16 to the, what's the 4th root of 16? Or what number to the 4th power equals 16? 2. X minus 3. all we're looking at is this, because this exponent applies to everything in there with those parentheses. 12 divided by 4 is 3. Again, even root, even power. We have to put this in absolute values. Okay, those are the examples for examples 1 and 2. Top of page 409. Okay, is just word problems. Okay, so you're going to be given a formula. Extrapolate the information they're giving you on the formula, and then you're going to solve for one of the unknown variables. Okay, so you're going to have 3 or 4 word problems on the assignment, and so make sure that you take a look at that and plug in those values into the proper variables in your word problem, and you should have no trouble getting through those problems as well. So with that being said, this is your assignment for Wednesday, April 15th, and next week we will have a review and as well as a quiz next week. So we will talk to you then. Take care.